It's time for some new cards, waited so long, we raised the bar. Tag teams, well, now tear apart. Getting one shot won't be too hard. Sniping is also back. Volcarona gives you a smack. I think we can almost wrap this game up. Who's ready for zap? We go through opponents, some powerful moments. I think we definitely have some components to go through this season. It's time for a bonus. I want more than what I have already shown. Yeah, how about consistency? With Silvally, it's easy you see. Oricorio recovery. Every set snaps so cleverly. Great catcher will be everywhere. GX card will be scared. They'll get one shot and I swear. So let's check out the set and see what's there. Yeah, episode 234. The 20 best cards of Cosmic Eclipse. Yeah! What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. For those of you that are new to the channel, my channel is all about the competitive Pokemon trading card game. So if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do so. And also click that little notification bell so you get notified immediately when a new video hits the channel. So in this video, it's gonna be all about the new Cosmic Eclipse set, which comes out very shortly. In 2 weeks time, there's already the pre-releases started and I want to prepare everyone out there to be giving you the top 20 best cards to look out for. As a little side note, this is my personal opinion, so if your top 20 is different or I forgot a few cards, definitely put them in the comment section below and let's get this discussion started. So without any other things to say, without further ado, let's get into this with number 20, Beastnite. This is a tool card, which is amazing, which means you can just equip it to one of your Pokemon that does not already have a tool card equipped. And the attacks of the Ultra Beast, this card is attached to dish out 10 more damage to the opponent's active Pokemon for every prize card you've taken. So, in general, this will help out against a lot of decks. Let's say you're playing Blacephalon, Naganadel, one of the more popular decks out there with Ultra Beast. That means if you equip this to a Blacephalon and you already took 3 prize cards, you dish out an additional 30 damage, which could help out with the math so much. Typically, Blacephalon gets a lot of energies in play with Welder, B-String, and all that. And now you actually can dish out more damage thanks to this amazing tool card. So I do expect this tool card to see a little bit of play. Will it replace certain cards in the Blacephalon deck? Who knows? But it also helps out with math and other matchups. Let's say you're playing Ultra Necrozma, for instance. This could also help out with that card. For every prize card we've taken, we dish out an additional 10 damage to the opponent's active with our Ultra Beast. And there's a lot of Ultra Beasts to go around. Let's say Baby Buzz. There's also the Naganadel GX, which snipes 170, but if you have this equipped to the active Pokemon, you can dish out more damage, so this tool card might see play. Next up is going to be Mimikyu. This Mimikyu is very interesting since it brings back Ability Lock. It has the Shadow Box ability, that's why it's in here. Don't think about the attack is just average to say the least. Both players' Pokemon GX that have any damage counters on them have no ability. Why do I think this is great? We have Shrine of Punishment. This means if you can get this on board in combination with Shrine of Punishment, you can have Ability Lock, no more Zeraora Free Retreat, no more Naganadel with Ultra Conversion, no more what else has ability, so a lot of no more Heatran with the Burning Road or whatever it is to go to the active position. If you can get this off with a Shrine of Punishment, you're having Ability Lock on GXs, and I do think this will be very powerful. It doesn't stop Dedenne since Dedenne comes into play and doesn't already have damage on it, but this Mimikyu is just nice. I'm putting it here on the number 19 spot. Next up, we're gonna be talking about some supporters. The first one on the list here on number 18 here is Cynthia Caitlin. There's gonna be tag team supporters in Cosmic Eclipse, and this is the first one to kick it off that I think is actually viable. Put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand, except for Cynthia Caitlin. So that means you can just do the same effect like a Lusamine, but only get one. And you cannot get this one. Thank God they printed that on the card as well. Otherwise, you could loop for eternity. So we had like Cynthia and Caitlin loops. This time around, you cannot grab that card, but you can grab whatever you please from supporter. And you may discard a card from your hand as well when you play this card. And if you draw 3 cards. So it's basically like a Haw and a Lusamine bam into one card. So you can get back a supporter for next turn. And you can draw 3 cards. So I do love this card with the versatility it has, because the more supporters come out, the more we can use this to get them back. Let's say you can get back your Mars, you can get back any supporter that you want to be reusing. So next up is going to be 17 Red and Blue. Red and blue is fantastic for, of course, those evolution-based GX decks. Search your deck for a Pokemon GX that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put in play. Put it on top of that Pokemon. You can't use this if the Pokemon was not put in play this turn. So that means it has to be in turn for one turn at least. So it's basically like Evo Soda. So let's just put it like this. When you play this card, you may also discard 2 cards from your hand, and if you do, search your deck for 2 basic energies and attach them to that Pokemon you evolved. So to put it straight, Dark Box gets a lot better. You always have those issues, right? You have to play Naganadel, you have to play Weavile, it gets clunky, you know. Now you can play like a 4-4 Weavile line and play a couple of red and blues. This means if you smack down red and blue, you evolve into your Weavile, so you have, of course, the Shadow Connection going around, and you also can attach 2 energies from the deck. That means you had energies in play, you have your evolution in play, so that is going to be fantastic for evolution GX based decks. Could also help out for things like Volcarona GX, which we're going to talk about later. Every GX that is an evolution Pokemon could actually be viable with this. Think about Glaceon GX. This is one of those GXs that doesn't see play because it doesn't have energy acceleration. Now it does. Red and blue, you can evolve your Eevee, bam, get, of course, your Glaceon GX, 2 energies immediately, attach up the turn, and suddenly you have a Glaceon with the crazy ability that all GXs doesn't have abilities, so this is going to be fantastic to try the red and blue. Next up, Chaos Swell. Chaos Swell is an interesting stadium card because it basically does nothing at all. It states, when either player plays a stadium card, discard, and then the new stadium card as well. So, for instance, we have Chaos Swell in the stadium position. The opponent says, oh yeah, I have a power plant, I want to smack it down. Well, they smack down power plant. The power plant, the Chaos Swell gets overlapped and the power plant gets discarded as well. So it actually sucks up the stadium card. So that means you automatically win the stadium war if you have Chaos Swell. Some decks don't know which stadium card to run. Now you can just put in Chaos Swell. That means the opponent doesn't have access to their stadiums at all, which is very, very powerful. No Giant Hearts, no Heat Factories, no Ultra Space, etc. So Chaos Swell blocks stadiums. That's how good it is. It will see play in certain decks. Next up, we're going to be talking about Blacephalon. Do you know the deck that is doing quite well? They have the Malamar Spell Tag deck. Now it gets a new partner, Blacephalon. It has the attack That Bomb, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. That is already great. It is similar like the Jinx that has been used by a lot of players in the Malamar Spell Tag build, which is nice. But if the opponent has exactly 3 prize cards remaining, put 12 damage counters on the opponent's Pokemon in any way you like for 2 energies. Insane. In combination with Spell Tags, in combination with Distortion Door, and in combination with the late game Espeon Deoxys, Spell Tag Malamar gets to a whole new level. So and you can control that. The opponent will go to 3 prize cards remaining because we do run the Mew from Unbroken Bonds, which means they cannot skip an extra prize unless they're playing like those crazy Ultra Beast decks that take extra prize cards. But other than that, they won't take extra prize cards because we're only going to be playing 1 prize attacker. So that's going to be fantastic to try out this Blacephalon. Next up on the number 14 spot, it's time for Lana's Fishing Rod. This is an interesting item card which can shuffle 1 Pokemon and 1 tool card from the discard pile back into your deck. This is a way to recover, tool cards. We haven't seen that before, so you can get back your spell tags, for instance, and you can also shuffle a Pokemon back. So in decks like Baby Blacephalon that do not run a lot of Pokemon, this is a helpful little tool card because that means you can use Green's Exploration, get Lana's Rod, and shuffle, of course, a thing back. That means you can play Blacephalon, Baby Blacephalon with Beastnite as well, the card we talked about on the number 20 spot, and they also shuffles back a Pokemon in. So without Rescue Stretcher and only having Brock's Grid available, Lana's Fishing Rod is a welcome addition to the format. Next up is End's Resolution or End's Resolve or whatever it's gonna be here when it's pronounced. This is an insane supporter. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck. Attach all basic energy cards you find to one of your bench Dragon Pokemon. Wow, this is insane for a lot of Dragon Pokemon out there. For instance, we're gonna just say an example, Ultra Necrozma. Let's say you have this and you smack it down, get a lot of energies out of nowhere. Ultra Necrozma could be attacking on the 2nd turn for crazy damage if you run a lot of energies. Also, the new Reshiram and Zekrom tag team, which we're going to talk about later in this video, will make use of this End's Resolution. I do love this card and it reminds me of the Hat Ladies. You have to be running a lot of energies, but we do see that certain decks like the 18 energy fire build of Blizzard does run that amount of energy, so maybe we can try this out. Also, to one of your bench Dragon Pokemon, that means you can also Smack this down and attach a lot of energies to Turtonator, for instance. The Turtonator from Dragon Majesty, so interesting card to say the least. Next up is going to be Naganadel and Guzzlord GX. This is a card that has a ton of HP, 280 for a basic, and also comes with the Gluttony ability. Once during your turn, you may discard one Pokemon from your hand, then heal 60 damage from this Pokemon. Not only do you have a built-in healing mechanic, that means spell attack is irrelevant, and you can also heal yourself up against certain attacks. That means a one-shot, actually a two-shot, becomes a three-shot, etc. So that's fantastic. Also, a flat vanilla 180 damage for like Psychic, Darkness, and Cards is not bad, and it is in here on the number 11 spot just because of Chaos Order GX. Flip all of your prize cards face up, so we get a free town map for that. For a Carlos Energy, free town map, not too bad. And if this Pokemon has an extra Psychic and an extra Darkness energy in addition to the attack cost, we can take 2 prize cards. Done. So we don't knock anything out, but we can get prize cards, 2 of them to say the least, for a GX move. That is very nice in the late game. Oh, only need to take 2 more prize cards with the Dark Box deck. Just smack one Psychic Energy in there and just get this card on rolling, and then bam, out of nowhere, Chaos Order, I win. Very nice to try out. Next up on the number 10 spot, we have Alolan Persian GX. This is an insane card with the triumphant look, prevent all damage and effects from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon Tag Team, Ultra Beasts, and a Pokemon with ability done to this Pokemon. Wow, that is huge. So this Pokemon has a built-in wall, very similar like Holy Heart of the Keldeo GX. You cannot get hit by Tag Teams, which rule the meta game at the moment, let's be honest. Ultra Beast, Blacephalon, Ultra Necrozma, etc. Very nice to have a shield against that, and against Pokemon with an ability, so Giratina cannot attack us, prevent all damage and the effect. So this Persian has an Ultra Wall. This will be used in wall decks. Maybe a Keldeo Alolan Persian deck will come out of nowhere. Very insane, the ability. It is shut down by Power Plant though, so be careful. It has, of course, the Stoke Claw GX. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and this attack damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on the defending Pokemon. So you can smack Keldeo, for instance. You go through any effects and you only dish out 120 damage, but you can snipe wherever you want. At least there's that, but the ability is just so strong that I do think it will see play. Next up is a new Charizard card. Charizard and Braixen, or whatever it's pronounced, GX. Tag team here. Shiny Flare 180, and you may search your deck for 3 cards and put them in your hand. I do think this is nice because a lot of welder based decks will enjoy getting 3 cards from their deck. Instance, for an Mimikyu deck, you have this in the discard pile. How many times do you have a Mewtwo with like a Psychic and 3 Fires equipped? Well, now you can just use the attack, Shiny Flare, 180 damage. That means sometimes you knock something out, and you can search your deck for 3 cards. That is just so powerful. And next is the Fireball GX. Attach 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. That is just for a single fire energy, so you basically have the full voltage GX of Zeraora for fire Pokemon. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy in addition to the attack cost, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and confused. Okay. For 2 energies, just for a welder attachment. So a welder, and out of nowhere you can attach 5 energies from the discard pile and leave the opponent burned and confused. So that is definitely not bad. I do love this card and it will see play because, yeah, fire always sees play. Next is Island Challenge Amulet. This Pokemon, the Pokemon GX that this card is attached to has 100 HP less. I know what you're gonna say, and expanded this is banned because of the Jirachi EX, Giratina, Garchomp Tag Team combo and all that stuff. But in standard, it will be legal, so that means you can just lower the amount of HP of your GXs by 100, and then if the opponent knocks you out, they take 1 last prize card. Oh wow, I love where this is going. That means you can make glass cannons out of your GXs. For instance, the Blacephalon GX, which automatically one-shots on tag teams and whatever. You can now turn that into a 1-prizer. It will only have 80 HP remaining, but still, I definitely would pay the price only having 80 HP remaining by turning it into a 1-prizer. So I do think that this is going to be one of the most powerful tool cards in the format. Light Thunder Labs will get more popular since we don't have anything like to get rid of the tool cards except for like Farfetch'd and Pachirichu or maybe Faba, but yeah, who uses that, right? So I do think this is powerful. Next is Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff GX on the number 7 spot. This is very powerful Tag Team GX. Why is that? Because it attacks for 3 cardless energies with a huge amount of damage, and that means you can charge it up with Malamar, you can charge it up with the Welder, you can charge it up with whatever you want. this is gonna be a huge part of the metagame because it dishes out 60 damage and 60 more for each of your opponent's Pokemon GX or EX in play. For instance, against, let's just say a small example, you're facing off against Pikarom, they're getting out Electromagnetic Radar, smack down Zeraora and Pikarom and a Dedenne out of nowhere. That means they have 3 GXs in play. Typically just standard 3 GXs. That means that means we actually dish out 180 as the additional attack cost. That means 240 because that means you just one-shot Pikaroms if they just get their usual setup. So this card is very, very powerful. Let's say against Mewtwo, they have Dedenne, Mewtwo, and something else. Maybe Latios. 5 GX, you just crazy, go through any Pokemon whatsoever. So very powerful attack here, Jumping Balloon. It also has the Puff Smasher GX. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. If this Pokemon has 4 extra energies attached to it, so if you have 5 energies in total, you can just snipe 200 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Wow, sniping 200 is huge. I thought like Naganadel sniping 170 was great. Sniping 200 could make a difference between winning a game or losing one. Let's say, oh, they still have a Heatran on the bench somewhere, bang, it's gone. Or a Pokemon just has 200 HP remaining because I just smacked it early game with something else. It's gonna be fantastic. The good news is that is also playable in any deck. Let's say for Pikarom, you can use the full Blitz, 3 energies on this card, and you're up to go. So I do love this card since it's so versatile in any deck. Next up is going to be number 6 spot, Oricorio GX with the Tribute Dance. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon, not when you play this Pokemon, so once during your turn, when one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you may draw 3 cards. You can only use this ability once during your turn, so you cannot get out an army of Oricorios. Why is this great? A lot of decks run Mysterious Treasure, and sometimes you get Reset Stamp. I see that happening a lot. You get stamped to like 2 cards and you're just bricking. Wow, one of those cards seems to be like a Cherish Ball or a Mysterious Treasure. Both easy searchable, this Oricorio. That means you can search out your deck, smack it down, use the ability, and that means you're back in the game. So for the versatility and drawing cards, getting out of reset stamps, and just going very deeply into the deck, I give this card the number 6 treatment here. I do think it's great. It also has a GX move, but it is very garbage. But for the ability, putting it here on the number 6 spot. Number 5 is gonna be Volcarona. If anyone was playing during the Sun and Moon base set era, Decidueye was everywhere, and that was a stage 2. This is a stage 1 which can snipe more than Decidueye ever dreamed of, and I do think it is deserving here on the number 5 spot. With the ability here, once during your turn, you may discard a fire energy from your hand, then put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is very similar like Decidueye, but you can just get Volcarona out very, very quickly. Just get a bunch of these Larvesta on the bench early game and get an army of Volcarona GX out, and out of nowhere, you could be sniping, let's say, a maximum of 80 damage during your turn by discarding fire energies. Discarding fire energies is, you can ignore that because we have Fire Crystal, we have a way to get them back in the deck with Victini Prism Star, and we have Giant Heart to search fire energies, so getting fire energies won't be the problem. This can also help out in any fire deck that wants to get that extra damage output. Let's say Reshiram. Reshiram typically only dishes out 230 damage, which is just like, I wish I would have the choice band. Well, this time around, we have Volcarona GX to just, be the role of that particular choice band, sniping 20 damage, and out of nowhere, Charizard will be dishing the 250 it always dreamed of, and you can just, with 2 snipes, get 270. So Charizard and Volcarona pairing it together will be awesome. So any fire deck will definitely try this out. It also has a GX move, discard an energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. So in those decks that just, let's say they try and use Latia's Prism Star to get energies on everything on the Pokemon, well, you can just neglect that, boom, all the energy is gone. So it's very, very interesting to say the least. Number 4, now we're going into the top 4, and I do believe these top 4 are definitely here. And I don't think in any order here, we're gonna go with Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia. It has the Ultimate Ray, very similar like the Tag Balls, or actually not the Tag Ball, the Full Blitz of Pikarom. For 3 energies 150, and you can search your deck for 3 basic energies and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So it's actually a little bit better since you can put the targets wherever you please, not only one target, but it does need water, metal, and a colorless energy. So I don't know how we can fix the attack cost here, but the attack is great. We already seen it work with Pikarom, but the best thing about this card is the Altered Genesis GX. Until the end of the game, all of your attacks dish out 30 more damage against your opponent's active Pokemon. If this Pokemon has 1 extra water energy attached to it, take 1 extra prize card when you take a knockout on your opponent's active Pokemon. Wow! You remember where we played Mega Tyranitar, actually Mega Sableye and Tyranitar GX just to use that attack to get an additional prize card? Well, now this works out. Let's say you have a Metal and a Water and you use the GX move. That means you dish out 30 extra damage for the rest of the game, and if you get a KO, you can take an additional prize card. That means in prize raise wise, you knock out a Jirachi and you knock out a Tag Team and you win the game. That is just insane. So we're definitely gonna see some lot of plays with this Arceus, Dialga, Palkia. Just such a powerful GX move if you can get it off. Moving forward, also this is a Dragon type. So we can make use of the End Resolve to just get the energy attack, actually energy requirement for this Pokemon. So very, very insane. Next up, Reshiram and Zekrom GX. So they had both their tag teams. One partnered up with Charizard, one partnered up with Pikarom. Now they abandoned those partners and come together here. Reshiram and Zekrom, black and white action. We have the Ryan Dream, 90 damage, and it does, and actually it did 90 damage times. Discard up to 3 fire and lightning energy from your bench Pokemon as you like. This attack does 90 damage for each energy discarded in that way. Okay, 90, it's just like the Rayquaza from Dragon's Exalted back in the days, but on steroids. For, yeah, you need a fire and a lightning, so with the Welder attachment and an attach of the turn, you can get that attachment. And then, if you can discard like 3 energies from your bench Pokemon, 3 fires or 2 fires and a lightning, or whatever you please, a combination of 3, you dish out 270. Yeah, do the math. That knocks out any tag team in the game right now, or any Pokemon whatsoever. So, wow, very powerful. You can Welder, you can use Naganadel GX, you can use Latias Prism Star. A lot of ways to get energies on your Dragon type Pokemon. You can even use Rayquaza GX to get, of course, the energies on play. This will see play because it one-shots a lot of tag teams very, very quickly. Very aggro deck, and will definitely see play. It also has the Cross Break GX. This attack dish 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. If you played End's Resolution this turn, this attack does 170 to another one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Oh boy. You don't need additional additional energies. You just need to play End's Resolution, which can get energies into play, and you snipe 170 on 2 targets. Wow, 170 on 2 targets. That, let's say the opponent is just playing a standard deck and just getting 2 Dedenne out during the game, which is not that weird actually. If you can get this off, very easy. Use End's Resolution, pump your deck with a lot of energy, then out of nowhere, boom, you get 4 prize cards because you knocked out 2 Dedenne. Or maybe you knocked out a Ninetales and whatever. And Ninetales and a Dedenne against a Reshiram ability or whatever. Very, very insane GX move. It's one of the better ones I've seen. This card is just crazy. It's crazy powerful. Putting it here on the number 3 spot because I'm putting consistency above anything else. And I'm putting Silvally GX on the number 2 spot here with the Disc Reload ability. Do you remember Octillery? Do you remember it was a water type? Do you remember it was almost played in every deck? I agree. This will be hopefully the same thing. It is on Carlos energy, so it's even better. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 5 cards in the hand. Exactly like all the Octillery. This is stackable, so if you can get multiple Silvally GX out, it's going to be fantastic. Now you can use Silvally drawing cards, Dedenne drawing cards, using a supporter drawing cards. Silvally GX is where it's at. It's not the new Zoroark, don't get me wrong, since you are definitely are not gonna get 1-hit KOs, but it also dishes out 120. If you play the supporter from your hand during this turn, which almost happens every single turn, you dish out 120 damage. So for Carlos, double Carlos energy, we don't have double Carlos energy, we have triple accelerated energy, and we have Welder to get the energy requirement. So if you're playing a Welder deck and you want some extra draw power to save yourself from a reset stamp or whatever, Silvally is where it's at. I'm putting it here on the number 2 spot because drawing cards has learned me something throughout the years. Everything that draws cards is good. Next is also, it has a GX move, White Knight GX. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, it is knocked out. Very similar like the Alolan Ninetales from the Lost Thunder set. This guy doesn't like Ultra Beast, so you can knock out Blacephalon, knock out maybe the new Naganadel and Guzzlord Tag Team GX, for instance. Any Ultra Beast, you can one-shot it for simple 2 cardless energies. Insane. But I'm just such a fan of Silvally. We also have the discs expanded. We have more discs. We lost the fighting and psychic memory, but we still have a water memory. So Silvally could be hitting for weakness, which is nice to say the least. And now on the number 1 spot, I do think this is going to be the best card from the set. without a doubt, Great Catcher. Gusting is also something that is very popular in the trading card game and has always been good. Even if in the times where Pokemon Reversal was legal, they flipped coins to just target the opponent's bench Pokemon. We even see it now with Ninetales being abused. Great Catcher will be here for almost every deck. Discard 2 cards from your hand in order to use this card. Not a problem because most decks want to have stuff in the discard pile. Think about Pikarom wanting the lightning energies in the discard to use Tapu Koko Prism Star. Same goes for Malamar with the Psychic Recharge. A lot of decks run on things in the discard, so that's nice. So that's not even a bad thing. Now you can switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their GXs on the bench. So, or even EXs if you're playing it in expanded. You can just target GXs down in standard. That's what I'm talking about. Most of the times you see, they're only putting up one prize. I want to get multiple prize cards. Well, Great Catcher. No longer you need to have 2 custom catchers in the hand. Not saying that custom catcher is worse. Will still be played if there's a lot of one prize decks in the format, for instance Quagsire and all that stuff. But Great Catcher targets the GXs, which will most of the time be the meta game, and that's why I'm putting it here on the #1 spot. So that was my small review / top 20 best cards from the Cosmic Eclipse set. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite card is, which deck you're looking forward to making. I'm definitely a big fan of the Reshiram and Zekrom Tag Team GX deck. Definitely going to be making that with Naganadel, and it's just such an aggro deck that I want to test out. Anyhow, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to demolish the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be seeing you guys sooner or later. Definitely put something in the comment section. That always helps out the channel a lot, and I'm curious to hear your opinions. Anyhow, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thanks for watching.
Hasta la vista! Okay, people!